Hello, friends and enemies and strangers. It's time for another game design stream, making Daughter of Dreams, my RPG game. That's what it is. In which I work on the thing that I was supposed to do this morning, but then I drank too much coffee and got hyper and distracted and didn't do that much. Now is my chance to catch up on some work instead of planning ahead. Um, Doing some level design. By that I mean just building levels. I have this whole area. I have most of the story done. I just need to just actually make rooms in the game, and for some reason that has been really stuck in my head and not been something I've been able to focus on for a few weeks now. So I'm trying to make consistent progress at least, and eventually it will be done. I filled my water bottle. I ranted a bit about Slay the Spire, which, by the way, I do enjoy. I'm just processing the things about it I don't enjoy because those are more obvious. And yeah, so let's start. Oh, I'll show one thing that I started off by making. I did this earlier instead of doing level design. Oh my gosh, why is it so slow? Compile, please. Load. Okay, great. And so this used to be like a little gate made out of stone. I have changed it into vines, and now if you step, they shrink. And it's awesome. Just to make the kind of little falling gates a little more on theme for the Tanglewood. And I'm trying to simplify this puzzle. There's a few ways you can do it. Oops. But yeah, that's the idea. This one, you have to hit that switch. I think I'm going to also retexture the switches later and the pressure plates to be like little living plants with like some glowing green energy or yellow energy. But that's not too important right now. Now that the mechanics of this are working, I want to do probably I'm going to aim for 2 rooms while on stream. The first one, let's take a look, is this one that we were just in. This puzzle was very complicated before. I've stripped out most of it, and I'm going to build a simpler little puzzle, just put some more enemy encounters in here, do a little bit of a point of interest down at the bottom where I need something. And then the one over, which would be southeast, northeast. Yeah, I get east and west mixed up. This room was actually a placeholder room for one of the early alpha builds. This is the boss fight, which does not belong here. Instead, this is going to become the remnants of the first time that people in the game fought this boss. And by that I mean in the story, not the players. And for that, we'll do a little bit of new sprites with kind of like some soldier's armor that's left in the grass. I just realized a plot hole with that, and then remembered I already solved that plot hole. That was a turn of events in my brain. Anyways, that is not relevant to you all because I am not going to spoil the story. But I will draw the sprites and we'll put them in the room. And then when you play the game eventually, you'll know what happened there. And maybe someone will notice the clever way I fixed that plot hole. Okay, so these are the 2 things we're doing today. And so to start here, I think kind of the shape of this room I'm mostly happy with. Initially, let's see, do I still have the... Oops. Nope, I don't have it in there. Anyways, wait here, I can find revealing everything. Okay. This is what it looked like before. I don't know what happened here. What the heck? Windows, I hate you. Anyways, and these switches were here. There was 2 gates here. Whole big mess. I am attempting to... Wait, start over. I missed the beginning. Oh no. The gist of it is we're doing some level design today, and I'm working on this room and this room. That's the only important thing I said. I was rambling a lot. So I'm going to redesign this room a little bit. The puzzle was just too much. I don't think it fits. So this is a weird thing. Daughter of Dreams started off being basically it was going to be a Zelda-like game, just like The Last Librarian, but it was going to be procedurally generated from scratch with no handcrafted terrain. And now we ended up in a uh, very much handcrafted RPG game with like a little bit of procedural generation. So where I ended up was not where I thought I was going, and that means that this room was designed thinking this was a Zelda-like, and I don't think it fits the vibe. So I'm simplifying the puzzles a little bit in exchange for more story-based and riddle kind of puzzles and more combat encounters, because I put an entire year and a half into developing the combat system. That's what the game is about now. I don't really have a choice. It's outside of my hands now. If I did it again, maybe I'd actually make a Zelda like. I don't know. So I'm gonna just what I like to do for this kind of thing is, well, not what I did for this because I already designed a whole puzzle. I'm kind of redoing it. What I like to do is just fiddle around in the room and see what would be the next interesting step for a puzzle. So first of all, I'm gonna make my party 2 people because this needs to be solvable with 2 players. There's a couple ways with 2 players that you can do this part. You can split the party and then just have one person carry the orange thing over. Or, if I load it again, even if you just have Lydia, you can do this. Drop this. And then you come here and grab this. And of course you burn those down. Then there's a third fancy way. If you just have Sonia, don't mind those. If you just have Sonia, then you have to take this one through to the next room and use that to hold down the pressure plate. And then you come here with this. So those are kind of 3 intended ways. My one concern is I think that this method of splitting and just carrying one across is way more obvious. And I'd rather them do the place it there and catch it with a chakram, even if they have 2 players. And I think the simplest way to do that is with a different mechanic I have, where I put the there's this purple stuff. I'm hesitating. Oh, here it is. So here's this purple stuff. If you try to bring it through, it blows up in the purple, but you can pass through as a player. But I'd like to use that in a limited sense. So that's where my thinking is. And now I'm just doing some big brainstorming. You know, I normally like to have a plan when I do a stream so that I don't do this on stream. But you know what? This is part of the game development project, and this is just what I've got for you today. Okay, so instead of this thing, I'm just going to go back to my original idea of this purple stuff. Oops. Covering here. And I can move this somewhere else and use it for something else. Okay. So now we've got this whole tricky thing, right? Which means you do have to put it here and catch it with the chakram from the other side. Or if you did both, there's another way. Let me show this. Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, because you can still just do it like this. So there's a cool maneuver, which is this maneuver, in which you split, tell the other person to go here. And you pass it that way. But for some reason, then Lydia has to be the one on this side of the river, which could be done with like a switch that toggled the gate up and down. Because like in any case, you could just put it here. Oops. Or you can put, like, yeah, you just set it down and you send Lydia over. Like, it doesn't matter. Even if this was somewhere else, you still just set it down there and Lydia can grab it. So that passing it across to someone else is not necessary here. And there's a second reason to not put this wall here, which is now you're stuck on this side and I have to add another switch, like, down here that opens this gate permanently. And I don't like that. So we're just going to go with this for this puzzle. Get it across the river, whatever. You basically just have to figure out that this purple thing is going to break it. That's the only purpose of this bit of the puzzle. So then here is this gate. This crystal opens this gate because this is the end of the puzzle room. And that way you have, I carefully designed it so that to go to the left, you just take this short path here. To go to the right, you just take this short path here once this gate is opened. And the rest of this can be puzzle, and I can make it as complicated as I want because you're only going to have to go through it one time. So then the next idea was this kind of works. Like this is almost sufficient. Hold on. Okay, so this idea is going to be that you have to use the fire bloom to weigh down this pressure plate to hold this open, or a player. Okay, so we split up first, and we will put Sonia over here. We don't have to split up. You can also just set it down. I'm going to do it that way, the fancy way. Use this to open this. Then there's another fire bloom here just for convenience sake. And now we have this situation in which one person has to stay here, one person has to go up here. Then we can pass it to someone else. And then we do it again. Borrow it. And then we let them back through here. I'm actually happy with that, but I'm going to have to try it again because I swear there's a really good chance that there is some way to shortcut this that I don't like. It's probably some G's here. Oh, I don't need this anymore. There we go. That opens it up. Okay, so let us try that puzzle again. In fact, I'm going to assume I'm happy with this first part, and I'm going to save after I do this. Save some time. Save here. Okay. So there's a few problems with this setup as it is. Here is one of them. And maybe this is contrived, and it doesn't actually. Okay, send Lydia here. Take Sonia. And then we let her back through. Set that down, bring them both across. Now I am soft locked. So, yeah, that's great. So one thing would be... Works perfect, ship it. Yeah. There are lots of soft locks in the last librarian. Some of which I noticed and didn't bother to fix because they are too contrived. I was like, you can't do that on purpose. Sorry. But I'm not happy with this. So what I did in the previous version is I added a little thing you could interact with that would just reset the puzzle. Don't want to do that. I don't like that at all. I want something more elegant than that. One solution could be attach this land to this. Then you would just walk around, except then you have a different problem. I'm going to teleport them through. Then you have a different problem, is that you don't have to hold this fence at all. you could just split up. Boom. Now imagine there's like some liligads here. Walk across this water. Great. This whole gate here, irrelevant. Which does suggest another alternative, which is just remove the gate. Oh, okay. Let's move this gate over here for now. Okay, so now this puzzle just looks like this. Send someone over, send someone over, and now it is literally identical to this one up here. Just rotated 90 degrees. So that's a no-go. We're not, there's no benefit to that. In the last librarian, I did a lot of one-way gates by just putting like, there's like the blue square teleport things. You hit them with your boomerang, you teleport to it. I could just put, one of them over here, and then you have a one-way path, right? Teleport across this water, basically. I'm not so happy with. I don't want to add those to the Lost Librarian for 2 reasons. Or sorry, to Daughter of Dreams for 2 reasons. First of all, only Lydia has a chakram. Second of all, that's just a whole new mechanic just for one thing. Like, I might add them later, but not here. They're not in this biome. I've got enough to work with here. So, this gate has to be here, I think. Like, that's kind of an essential component of this. Because then you have the whole holding it and sending someone through, but I don't even know if that helps at all. And that makes it not really solvable with one player. Even if you smuggle a bunch of extra fire blooms in. It doesn't have to be solvable with one player, because I'll add different routes to everywhere. Like, I already have an idea for how you would skip this puzzle with one player mode, but could just be I put a second pressure plate on the other side. So if there's a player there, well, then you can get soft locked maybe with a single character. But that I don't need to worry about. I could figure that out at another time. So imagine if this pressure plate had a copy up here and it was just a way out. Right? Then you have the benefit of you can also put the fire bloom up here and come down here and take all your characters to grab it. Then is there any way to soft lock? Well, you can soft lock if you have one person up here, no fire bloom. But can you do that? Because there's no way to get a fire bloom here with one player. Like, that's currently impossible. Don't think it is possible, at least. Even if it was Lydia. I don't think so. Let's try it. Okay, so my thinking now is I'm not sure if this is good at all, because you're just doing this trick with one wrinkle. Because, like, here's the thing. I can simplify this by just being like, okay, these are up here instead. Then all you have to do is, like, you hold this down, and you go over, pass it across, and wire, like, come back, hold it down, walk around here and blow it up. All I did is add, like, 3 extra steps to doing this trick, which doesn't feel satisfying to me. What would be more interesting is if there was some reason why you had to use the fire bloom to hold down the pressure plate. But I don't know. I didn't teach that mechanic anywhere, and I kind of prefer it to be like a bonus thing, like something you use to sequence break if you know it, but not part of the puzzle design. Just like in the last librarian. Well, later they teach you in the last librarian that you can use the bomb to hold down pressure plates, but it's not the first dungeon with the bombs doesn't assume you know that, so you can use it to sequence break in the last librarian, and I think that's kind of nifty. So I don't know if I would necessarily want to use that mechanic. I'd rather design the puzzle without it. I'm just not happy with this. Like, let's take a look. It's too mundane. I've got this whole chakram and like the gates and the fire blooms. They seem like they have so much potential. I'm not happy with it. I also just think like I feel like I'm out of practice with level design because it took me 2 years, 3 years to get to the point where. See, it's just kind of annoying. Like, okay, great. I come here. Great. That's all I have to do. It's this exact thing, except you need an extra person to stand on this pressure plate while you do it. Like, sure, I could put another purple thing over here. Okay, well then it's this exact thing, except you wait here, and you come back here, and Lydia tosses it across. Comment incoming? Please, I welcome it. Boom, you can blew that up, let Lydia back across. You just do it with more steps. It's not any more interesting. I almost feel like I need new game mechanics, but I don't want to do that either. But I would do it if there's something I can think of, or whatever events he comes up with. I welcome suggestions. Okay, this is not satisfying yet. Like, one more thing I could do is move this pressure plate. Okay, it doesn't change the trick. In solo, the player you choose gets a magic spell for solo mode only. As you create a shadow dummy, sits in one spot, and then use a spell again till the dummy disappears. I think that could definitely work. At least it could be something that's unlockable. I kind of have something like that in my mind already as an ability one of the characters would have that you could also get in solo mode. But solo mode is like something I'm going to develop later. I've been thinking about it and it's sort of implemented, but at the moment I'm not trying to design around it because I don't think it's too important. Well, hey, if you do, yeah, let's see. Solo DLC, basically, yeah. And then another thing I'm going to do is there's going to be shortcuts between every room, and some of them are going to depend on certain conditions in the terrain generation. So, like, if you beat certain boss, then some stuff is going to start spawning somewhere that lets you bypass some puzzles. Okay, this is not good yet. What do I do to make it good? Oh, what do I do? What do I do to make it good? I've been streaming for almost 30 minutes. I have no brain. Holy cow. Loads of retweets on the stream announcement. Let's see. If I could, game design takes time. Don't pressure yourself. Thanks, Avinsky. You're totally right. Let's see here. So, if I could force the solution, like if the solution required you to pass the interesting here. If the solution required you to pass the um, fire bloom from one player to another directly instead of just setting it down and grabbing it, that would at least be a little bit more interesting. So one way that could happen is if like, what if I need the fire bloom up here, but this is blocked off? Okay, so just temporarily, imagine I put this here. I would do this differently in the level design. And then this like this. Big old mess. Okay. This is a different puzzle. I think it's solvable, and it might be more interesting than what I had before. Okay, so here we can't pass it over the water there. And we can't take it through here to break this vines. So instead, oh. we stand here and we walk through. What the heck? Okay, the idea was that you'd like do this, I guess. Oh, okay. Okay, it's time to be a little bit more draconian. Because I don't think this... Here, I'll just do it this way. I don't have a vertical one at the moment. So I'm just gonna... Yeah, okay, great. Perfect. Damn it, this doesn't help either. It's closer though. Okay, so here's the idea with this one. Let's get to it. Load in. Thank you. Holy cow, that's scuffed. It's very cursed. Now you have to have someone here, but you can still just like, okay, great. Yet you technically can't do this with one because it's too far. Let the world burn. Well, hey, at least that's cool looking. uh, that's too cursed. Go back. Okay. But here, because you can just walk, if you had a route that humans could go, but not fire blooms, and a route that fire blooms can go, but not humans, which is to say, this setup, you still don't have to send a human through because for, you don't have to have humans on both edges. You just set it down and grab it from a distance with Lydia. What could prevent that from happening is if you had this vine gate in that spot, then you could have the gates be there. But that's still not a prerequisite to getting the fire bloom. That's just an extra step, which is exactly what I have here. Oh my gosh. Oh, for that you need this here, but like basically I just discovered that the vine can be used as the same purpose as this. You just put a pressure plate somewhere and then someone has to stand on it to take a vine through. And one person on their own can't take a vine through, but like yeah. This is very much a thinking stream today, everybody. I mean, I'm half tempted just to delete the whole puzzle, put a combat encounter there, call it good. Here's the puzzle, that's all. But I want to do a little bit, something a little bit more spicy. Um, so what about like so the idea would be that you want the solution to require Lydia on this side of the river, Sonia on this side of the river, so that Sonia can catch the fire bloom. And then Lydia can come back around here and grab it from Sonia again. So I sort of just need like a pathway that only Lydia or only Sonia can pass through. Now, uh, There is one thing I could do to make that happen, which is because Lydia is the chakram, she can throw it across a gap and hit a switch, and I could add the toggle switch. It opened and lowered 2 gates. I don't know if I want that, but like, hey, let's go for implementing it and see what it looks like first. Put these over here. I need a toggle gate. I only have horizontal ones. Oh no. Okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to use horizontal ones. I don't think the switch is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Toggle active? Oh no, it's not going to... I don't think this is going to work. I can test the idea, I guess, conceptually and just respect the rules of the game. And then I can... What? Oh yeah, it doesn't even do anything. Okay, so this is a toggle switch. We're going to say, right now we cannot pass through the first gate, but we can the second one. These two are... Oh wait. No, the second one has to go here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to move it over so there's a space. This is gate A and this is gate B. If you hit this switch, they swap. They swap. So now we can go through gate A but not gate B, which means we are forced, in order to progress, forced to leave Lydia here. Hit that. Now Lydia's trapped here and Sonia can progress up. Lydia can deliver her the fire bloom. Okay. We can swap these gates again. Oh yeah, and then there's all these. I don't need these anymore. Oh hey, if I delete them with a right click, they still crumble. I can leave Sonya here. Grab that. Okay, now I have to go all the way back. Swap the gate again. Now swap the gate again. I mean, hey, that's a puzzle. Even if that was just a switch you could hit on this side, it doesn't have to be only Sonya. It still requires you to split the party because one person has to stay back and be a switch hitter. Like, that kind of sort of works. I'll be honest, being able to split the party apart has been causing so many design problems. I think it's like, I don't know, I don't want to like remove it, but for a brief moment here, I'm considering it. Because like if there's only one person, then you kind of just like make a complicated maze and the one thing has to move through it in the right order. That's how level design works. If there's two, it makes the whole, like, my whole way of thinking about dungeon design or puzzle design with graph theory falls apart a bit when you can split your party, which is, I think, a good thing. That makes this more interesting. But man, the puzzle design is harder in this game than it was ever in The Last Librarian. Like, I don't know if The Last Librarian ever spent more than 5 minutes making any of those puzzles. I mean, that's a hyperbole. Like, I did draft them a lot, and some of them aren't that good. But, like, I'm struggling here. This is, I'm not happy with the idea of this toggle switch because of the thing where you split the party and you leave someone behind to do one menial task. Just hit the switch over and over again while the other person moves around. I mean, in this case, it's a little bit better because you have to then take a moment to deliver the fire bloom. But hey, imagine we do it this way. We just deliver this here. And then we leave Sonia here to hit that switch. Right? Sonia's there flipping the switch. Flip. And then we grab this. We flip it again. I mean, we do have to move her too. Flop back. Pass it over. Clear the puzzle area. Sonia has to walk all the way back, flip the switch. Come through, flip the switch. It's like the puzzle equivalent of an escort mission. I say that with in a derogatory manner. And like the last librarian relied heavily on those flopped blocks. That's what I call the ones that go up and down when you hit the switch that changes color. Like the very first dungeon is straight up like that's how they work. Maybe that's just how I design puzzles and I need to add them in even though it feels bad. But it feels bad just because like I did it so much already. That doesn't mean other people did it a lot. And it feels bad because like man, I just wish I could be more creative. This turned out to be a rather existential live stream. Okay, well, you know what? Let me draw it. Paint. Hello, MS Paint. Okay, so the puzzle I'm proposing here is basically we say, oh, it's so hard because you're passing the fire bloom around too. This is something I don't know if any of you have watched Mark Brown's Boss Keys series. I shall say that that series was formative in my level design career and the basis for a lot of what I did in the last librarian. By now, I've kind of moved on and I have my own framework. I did an undergraduate research paper about it. I still mean to publish that to my blog and or itch.io, but it's just, you know, you spend a year and a half researching one subject and then you get the grade and you don't really want to think about it ever again. So I haven't done it yet, but I will eventually. I think it's interesting. All that to say, in his videos, he talked about there's like 2 dungeons in Zelda where you do this thing that I'm doing with the fire bloom here, where you escort an object that you can like pass around between levels. The one is the frickin' ball in like Eagle's Tower or something in one of the Oracle games or Link's Awakening. I can't remember. Link's Awakening, I guess. And the other one is the cannonballs in probably one of the best dungeons ever made, Twilight Princess's, what's it called? The Snow Mansion. And both of those dungeons are really hard to represent as a graph because you've got this other object that's moving around. And here I have 3 objects moving around, or 4 if Duran's here. I've got 4 things that can move around. Or 5 if I go through in this upper room and I carry an extra one here. Oh, here's a 5th one. Or I could do this. Okay, well, I can't really do this. Because now they're all stuck. But I could do this. And behold, I have 6 things. There you guys. Just, oh, okay, fine. Go this way. It's a bit of a hassle, which is in and of itself a downside. Okay, we'll collect this one. Collect this one. Okay, great. I've got 6 things now I can move around in this environment. And like, there's a basic it doesn't, the framework I'm familiar with doesn't work for this. Because it's not a maze anymore. It's like a, there's so many more dependencies that require, one person to be somewhere or one person to be somewhere else, and then you can pass through with a third thing. And with these purple objects, in some places you can carry a fire bloom, and in some places you can't. Hmm. Now, having summarized it in that way makes me almost think I need to spend a year, not a year, but maybe a day or two, just developing a new framework for thinking about this. I really thought this was going to be simpler. But okay, so here's the puzzle I'm thinking about is some waters. And we've got the purple, and I guess we've got this purple too. And then I always used, what did I use? Red and blue? That's the colors I chose. So we've got a block, red state, blue state, got a switch key here. Heck, I can put some water here. I'm gonna make this lighter blue water. Put some water here. Then I've got this whole, like, put someone here with this orange thing. Okay. And then this person hits the switch. This person goes here. Hit the switch again. They go here. Oh, no, not like that. Well, this person just goes. And then we take the orange thing and we send it over there. And we come back and we hit the switch a third time and we go through. And we collect the orange thing, come back, solve the puzzle. And then we still have to come over here, hit the switch again, and bring these two together to go around. I mean, look at this. It's a disaster. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just like too close to it. It doesn't feel fun. Okay, so I can say at least one good thing has come of this hour of struggle, which is now this has changed from a task I was procrastinating with, but I thought was going to be easy, to a task that has nearly defeated me, which is a good thing. Hear me out. Because now I'm actually going to do the task. Oh man. I bet this is gonna make a pretty darn good itch.io written post once I figure it out. Because it's so right now I haven't even defined the problem yet. I just know I don't know how to do this. Like this puzzle, you know what? This puzzle works, right? I think I could put it in the game and people will be like, that was interesting. I've often found that in terms of puzzles, my players usually have lower standards than me, and that's not an insult to you all. It's just there's something so intangible about a really good puzzle that I can detect, but I have no idea how to replicate it. Puzzle design is so mysterious. Yeah, Vinsky, we're gonna do some level design. So I thought. Every stream I've had to rename after the fact. I'm gonna rename them this one to be like tearing my hair out over one puzzle. Ah, y'all are here basically for the podcast of me struggling. But listen, I think part of the benefit of live streaming the game development process is to show how much thought goes into every single little thing. And maybe I'm overcomplicating this. I'll like wake up in the morning, I'll drink my tea, and I'll be like, oh wait, that puzzle's fine. Or I'll be like, wait, you just do that and it works. But right now, at least, it really feels like I'm missing something, and I don't know what it is. My philosophy for puzzles is to boil them down to a simple goal, then add an obstacle to that goal and make the obstacles game mechanic you've taught the player or want to teach the player. Yes. That's a great way to frame it. And that's what this idea is over here. This first step to this room is just, hey, you can use the chakram to pass the fire bloom across the water. In fact, that's actually explained over here. Oh my god. Hold on, I can fix this too. Where is it? Oh my gosh. I'm going to fix it. Do I have changing crystals? Okay. Give me a moment while I fix this room. Okay. And I should be able to go down here. Do it one more time. When PHR did Magnetica, all the levels of tutorial, we ran out of time for anything really exciting. But the game is made in a way you've really no idea it was a tutorial for all the mechanics. Yeah, that is a good way to think about it, for sure. That's what this is too. Use the chakram. Boom, you can reach across this gap, hit that switch, open this door. Okay, great. Now you do it again, but this time you have to think about, well, I actually want to get it to another player across the gap, which could be you set it down and then walk through. And this teaches this whole, the purple thing breaks it. Okay, great. That too. Seems like a good way to design puzzles. Similar idea, but working from the end towards the beginning can help. Right. So in this case, the end is trying to apply your advices because I think it's good. You need this fire thing on the other, like over here, basically, to burn these. And it's like, okay, I mean, to be clear, what I have here works. I'm just not happy with it. There's a certain aspect where I feel a little bit like I'm running up against a fundamental lack of design space. Like this is different than like the puzzle design process itself, in the sense that like because I can split the party members, they have a lot more flexibility in what they can do, which makes it really hard to make a puzzle that has, not more than 100 solutions. Now, I think in some games that's okay and even on purpose, and it could be that way in Daughter of Dreams if I think about it more carefully. Um, in the sense that I don't mind if there's more than one solution. As I showed at the beginning of this stream, there's three solutions to this first one right here that I'm aware of. And there's going to be at least a fourth one that is intentional for the sake of the single player mode. Have you considered certain rooms locking down the mechanic to not allow the players to split the party? Um, I have thought about that. I earlier in this stream even thought about just not allowing you to split the party at all. Like that wouldn't be the end of the world. Sometimes like you end up with a game mechanic that just doesn't work out, and you have to revoke your decision. Be like, well, you know what? I'm not going to allow that anymore. I don't think I'm quite there yet. So I have two problems with that suggestion, and not that I appreciate the suggestion. The first issue is I definitely don't want it to be only in certain rooms because um, there's a kind of what the heck? Well, hold on. Why is my cursor going up and down and left and right when I move the arrow keys? Has this always been happening? What? What? How long has this been happening? Huh? What? I haven't noticed this before. Is it? Okay, let me finish addressing the comment, and then I'm gonna think about this mouse thing again. I don't want it to be only certain rooms because then you kind of. I prefer the mechanics to just be the same in all contexts, so the player can trust those mechanics and learn those mechanics and utilize them to solve the puzzles. And then the second thing is, I don't think I'm quite to the point where I want to remove it because I still think that the splitting the party is something unique for RPG games and even Zelda likes. And if I figure out how to do it just right, then I could do some really cool puzzle design. I think that's still true. I just need to figure it out. So we're at the point of dev where stuff breaks and the glitches appear for no reason. Yes, and based on the last stream, what the heck? It goes faster if I'm not moving. It must be related to the camera somewhere. Look at that. When I hit the wall, it stops going so fast. If based on the previous stream, that means the stream is almost over. The glitches stop working. It just start happening. What is going on? Okay, hold on. Let me see if this is always the case or like something because of alt tabbing. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm using any mouse cursor features. Like as far as I'm aware. Okay. This might be like a Windows thing. Oh, it's just a Windows thing. Look. It's happening. Is it? It's happening even when the game is closed. Gotcha. Just hop in and say hello, see what's going on. Thanks for stopping by. Also, thanks for joining the Discord server. Good luck with the rest of the stream. Thanks, I need it. Okay, so somehow I just enabled this on Windows. I don't know what's going on. But it's not Daughter of Dream's fault, which is good. WASD makes your mouse move? The arrow keys, not WASD, but yes. On my computer as of today, as of 20 minutes ago, did I hit a hotkey or something? I'm gonna Google this real quick. It's Microsoft Paint? There it is, everybody. Microsoft Paint. Thanks, superuser.com. Today I learned. What? How did I never know that? What a plot twist. I feel like that's... This thread is from 2019, so it's been around for a while. Why? I get why that's a thing, but why is it not locked to paint? I don't know, man. What's going on? Who thought that made sense? Oh, at least it's not my fault. Oh, man. Microsoft, wow. Good work. Okay, it's been an hour. I normally only stream for about an hour, and I think that's a great comedic conclusion. So I'm gonna close the stream. In the stream, I don't know what I'm gonna do about this puzzle design. Maybe I'm just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and just feel happy with it. All my doubts will go away. I'll be like, you know what? I did a good work. It's perfect, and that could be. But I'm also gonna think about it more and see if I can come up with any adjustment to the current mechanics or any new mechanic. Bonus points if I can avoid the flop blocks. That will give me a different design space to work with for the puzzle design. In fact, I may put on my boots and just go for a walk outside for a little bit around the cul-de-sac. That helps me think sometimes. And I'll get back to y'all. I'll probably show, if I do make a new puzzle, I will make an update video about it and or an itch.io post, or I'll just talk about it in the Discord server. I don't want to leave this stream on a cliffhanger with this big old mess lying around still. But that's the brainstorming process for an hour. That's the experience we got tonight, and I'm not going to let the fact that I had no plans and it didn't work stop me from streaming. So I'll be back. Actually, I probably won't be back next Saturday because I'm traveling. But if I'm home and I'm not too tired, I will still stream. But yeah. This stream needs a highlight video. You could be right, Avinsky. And you know what? I might think about that. I don't like video editing though, so it probably won't happen. But at least I could grab a few clips and we can make like a compilation at the end of the year or something. Thanks for coming, Avinsky. Thanks for coming, Froggerton, the Doggerton, and everybody else that may or may not have been lurking. I'll let you know what I find out. We may not have done too much actual level design, but we did discover a bug with Microsoft Paint. And there is no higher honor than that. Have a good night, everybody.